What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today we're talking about signs or symptoms of fat loss, which I hadn't really thought about making this video, but the fact that I have to explain it over and over again makes me realize a lot of people don't understand what they're feeling or what these signs and symptoms are. And, you know, I guess it's time to shed a little bit of light on that. So, when someone comes to me with a diet or they decide to join my program, what we do is we find out what calories they're taking in right now. Now, I'll go through all the macros, and once I figure out what they're actually taking in right now, that's what's causing their body to be the way that it is right now, okay? So it's not about a calculation of lean muscle mass and where you want to be and how much deficit. It's not that. It's like, what is your body doing right now, okay? Right now, it's probably in fat storing mode if you're coming to me for a cut. So, or it's in, at least, you know, not in a starvation mode, which is in a store stuff for later mode, period. So it's maybe not be gaining fat at a quick pace, but if you're not losing it, then you're not really in fat loss mode. So after I get these macros and I adjust them, the calories have not changed. Okay, here's what's interesting. I don't cut calories. Okay, we may start some cardio or, you know, again, like I'll take whatever cardio they're doing and I may change that. I may leave it the same, may just adjust the macros. The weight training is usually more intense, which I would say does put you in a little more of a calorie deficit, I guess, over a 24-hour period. But you also have a lot of days off to rest, so it evens out throughout the end of the week. Now, here's the interesting part. Although, technically, if you add it up by the end of the week, the caloric deficit wouldn't be hardly anything at all. You get extreme hunger sometimes. Now, why is that taking place? Well, now at the point where you're removing certain energy substrates like our carbohydrates and fats, you're removing those. So now the body has to make up, so not removing, but you're changing those. So the body's basically now not in storage mode anymore. It's in fat burning mode, and it needs to make up that energy source from somewhere, and it does it with body fat. And that doesn't do it in the gym. It does it over a 24-hour period. So you notice you're hungry during certain times more than others. Now, although you are not in a calorie deficit, your brain knows that there's not a lot coming in. So the signal goes to the brain. So you're not actually hungry because you're eating the same amount of fucking food. Especially sometimes the volume is even more when you're adding vegetables if you haven't been adding it to begin with. But you're hungry. Why are you hungry? The body flips on that fat burning switch, and the first thing it does when it wants to burn fat is go, I need more food coming in because I don't want to burn fat. That is exactly what's going on. It's a signal. It's a survival signal. Because now if you're technically, the way your body's set up survival-wise, in the wild it's set up to survive. It's not set up to get lean. It doesn't know that you're not putting this food in on purpose. It thinks that there is no more food. So its first instinct is to say, okay, well, this is going to happen until we die. So what we need to do is get more food in here ASAP to make sure that we don't die and keep this going. So that's the first thing. So hunger, and people go, oh my God, I'm hungry. And it's not even, I mean, if you cut your calories by 500, you're going to feel drastic hunger. It's almost like a sense of shock that the body goes in. But you cannot even reduce the calories at all, do the same cardio, do the same weight workout, and you'll still get hungry. As the body switches into fat burning mode, you get hunger. Now, you learn, your body adapts to that as it learns that, okay, there is food coming in. It'll adapt to that in a couple of weeks, but you're still going to feel hungry. Now, the more your body tries to pull fat, the leaner you get, the closer you get to like your minimal body fat, the worse that gets because the body thinks it's dying. Even though you're not dying, you could be in complete caloric maintenance and you're going to be fucking starving your ass off. You're going to be hungry every hour and a half. I mean, it gets bad. Another thing that is a telltale sign, especially on keto. I find keto it's worse because if you're not in keto and you're having some carbohydrates, carb cycling, and, you know, high, medium protein, low fats, whatever the case may be, your body's essentially not super efficient at burning fat. It's still burning glucose. It's still burning proteins by turning them into glucose via gluconeogenesis. It's burning fat when it can in recovery. I mean, there's a combination of things going on, and it's easier for your body to burn glucose than it is to burn fat. So you don't feel as bad on that. Now, when you hit keto, your body's essentially just burning ketones. Okay, so now as you're burning up those ketones, the body's breaking down more fat to make more ketones. And as it's doing that, it's very difficult. It needs oxygen to do it, which makes you breathe heavy. You have a hard time breathing. You'll notice people in keto will be like, well, shit, you're doing 2 hours of cardio a day. Cardiovascular, you are fit as fuck. You can get on the elliptical and crank out an hour on level 20. So why are you breathing heavy? Because the body's trying to access the fat. And it can't access fat without oxygen. It just doesn't work that way. So it's trying to build in more, bring in more oxygen. You see people yawn more when they're on keto because of the fact that, you know, they're sleeping 8-9 hours a night. They're still yawning. Why? The body's trying to access more fat, and it's having a difficult time doing that. You also see people moving slowly. They start to reduce speed. They start to reduce expenditure. It's hard to move. So you get to the gym, you'll feel like absolute fucking dog shit when you walk through the door, but you'll be able to handle the weights you did the previous week. Okay? Because strength-wise, the muscle is still strong. It's still there. You know, moving a muscle while you're training it doesn't take essentially fats or carbohydrates. It's breaking down the phosphates to try to move those muscles through those ranges of motion for that set. So essentially, your body's using all these different energy substrates, and when it recovers, it winds up using the fat. But as you're moving around, you're actually burning more fat when you're not training in the gym. So it's harder to move around, and you're tired, and you sit down, then you lay down, boom, and you can do the set. Why? Because you have those phosphates ready to go. Okay, so now these are things that most people, and I say most people, I say 50% of people, when they see them, they quit the diet. They immediately say, something's wrong, it's too hard, I don't want to deal with it. This is what it feels like to burn fat. When your body is burning fat, you don't feel good. It's hard for it to do. You know, now some people get around that by taking caffeine, ephedrine, stimulants for, you know, Red Line, Red Bulls, all kinds of shit to get around that. So essentially you don't really feel that fatigue. It's still happening, but you're so stimmed out of your fucking skull that you don't feel it. But the bottom line is, if you're going to diet, this whole like feeling great, feeling good, you're full of shit. If you're feeling great and you're feeling good, you're not fucking burning fat. You're not losing fucking fat. If your body has a lot of fat to lose, and if you got 100 pounds of fat to lose, you're going to feel pretty good for a while. You don't feel too bad. You feel better. You can breathe better. You're handling less weight as you're walking around. But as you start to get down to that lower body fat, when you try to get really lean, you're going to notice these symptoms. You get the hunger. You get the moving around slowly. You get the heavy breathing. In ketosis is like a garlic smell that comes from the burning of the ketones out of your lungs. I mean, there's certain things that are straight across the board, signs that it's actually a good thing that it's happening, that I think people perceive as negative and bad, and a lot of times it derails them. They're like, oh, this shouldn't be happening because I should be feeling good because I'm getting leaner. That's not the way it works, so I hate to break it to you, but all those people that are out there that are like, yeah, lean, I feel great, blah, blah, blah. One of two things is happening. They're hopped up on caffeine or other stims, or they're one of those genetic people that fucking pump adrenaline through their bodies, who are always fucking wired no matter what, that feel great. That's the two things that are happening. So if that's not happening to you, it's okay. You're in the general public. You're not weird. You're not fucked up. You're not broken. It's just the way that the body works. biowestertraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biowestertraining.com is the blog, and where it's the fat burning sign biceps, and we're out.